I was in the United States Army Signal Corps,
What was your highest rank that you achieved?
PFC, Private First Class.
And what general locations did you serve?
I served in Fort Lewis, Washington. Took my basic at Fort Dix. From Fort Dix, I went to Fort Lewis, Washington, where took my AIT for artillery, and I ended up as an RTO, which is a radio telephone operator. And then from there, I was reassigned to Gießen, Germany, and with the 6th and 9th Field Artillery. And then I was in forward direction control, but I didn't feel that I was capable of doing it, so I transferred to the guns. And being part of the gun crew in 1965, our gun crew was selected the best 175 outfit in NATO. So that was a pretty big honor.
Yeah. And then did you conclude your service somewhere?
Yeah, then I got transferred to Böttingen, Germany. I was in headquarters battery in the commo section, which is communications. And then from there, they needed help with, in one of the batteries with drivers. They needed a driver, so I volunteered to drive the mess truck. And when we went out to Grafenwehr or Vielsack, I drove the truck and, helped out and stuff like that.
All right. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Do you recall the date?
March 31st, 1964, when I was sworn in.
Why did you join?
Couldn't find any work, so just went in.
That's it? Why did you pick the service branch you joined? Why did you pick the Army?
Army, just Army. Everybody goes in the Army. My whole family's been Army, so,
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your first days of service. Tell me about boot camp.
Basic.
Yeah, basic.
A little scary. The psychological part of it starts the minute you get off the bus.
Mm-hmm.
They try to intimidate you, but you got to persevere.
Yeah. Do you remember any of your instructors or someone?
Yeah, Sergeant Mills, I'll never forget him. He was very instrumental in helping me go through, my basic. Kept me in line.
Do you remember one particular experience from your basic training that was particularly interesting?
I think the infiltration course was the hardest part, is at the end, and they're firing live bullets over your head, and you're on your back crawling.
Oh, under barbed wire?
Yeah, to me that was the scariest thing of the basic training.
Mm-hmm. So after boot camp, where did you go?
From there I went to Fort Lewis, Washington, to Cannoneer School, and I was the highest ranking. I had 2 days time and grade on everybody in my section.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the boss. Big deal. 17 years old.
So what were your first impressions when you got there?
I was scared. 17 years old, never been away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am all the way across country. And it was a little
scary.
A little scary. Especially, you're new and you don't know what to do, and you go to report and you don't know if you're reporting to the right person, or, because I got there on a Saturday and everybody's off, so.
your assignment when you got there?
Well, I was a trainee.
Oh, okay.
I had to be trained.
Mm-hmm.
That was my AIT, Advanced Individual Training.
All right. So then, where did you go after that? What did you do? Once you got there.
Well, then once we got there, we our had to wait a couple of days for the other parties of the class to come in, and we were put into barracks
Mm-hmm.
together in squad room, and then we started our training, firing guns and stuff like that, you know.
And then after that, we're gonna keep.
Then we went on maneuvers, Yakima. It was 116 in the daytime and 16 below at night. You know, sleeping with the rattlesnakes and the scorpions and the
That's fun.
yeah, that's fun. They told me, they said, make sure you check your boots and your sleeping bag. What for? For scorpions and rattlesnakes. So everything went on the back of the truck. And they said, you got to sleep on the ground. I said, look, I'm a private. Can't bust me any lower than I am. I'm sleeping up here. So
It's funny. So then after that, where did you go?
there, we went, after that, we went back to Fort Lewis, and that's when I got my orders to transfer overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And I cleared post, spent 30 days here in the States, and then I went to Gießen, Germany, 6 of the 9.
Elaborate on what happened in Germany.
Well, when I got there, they were on maneuvers, and it was called Silver Arrow, and it was during some of the worst winter Europe was experiencing at the time, and I lucked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed at the barracks, and then when they came, and then they filled in, they put me in FDC, because my test scores were really, really high. And I told them, I says, I didn't feel safe because FDC, I don't know if you know what they do.
No, not aware.
They have a horizontal chart operator and vertical chart operator.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're setting up a firing line, if you don't do it right, you can kill a lot of people, a lot of innocent people. And we were doing it with slide rules. No computers, everything was slide rules. And I wasn't comfortable with it. So that's when they sent me, put me with one of the gun crews. And that's when we won the best 175 outfit in NATO for 1965. So, okay. No, after Gießen, I was reassigned to Büdingen, Germany, which was on the East German Czechoslovakian border.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an 8-inch nuclear weapons outfit. And it's a beautiful town, nice people, great people I got to serve with. And I ended up in headquarters battery in the commo section, like I said before. And then when they needed help in one of the other batteries, I volunteered to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to meet a lot of, different people, which was real great. And I still keep contact with some of these people today.
Back from in Czechoslovakia, or with people you met in the army?
People I was stationed with over there. And so doing that and everything, going on maneuvers and everything. And then I was reassigned to the unit police. And unit police we had guards on post 24 hours a day.
Right.
Because of the nuclear.
Right.
Our gates were protected.
You're pretty close to.
And I was every morning put the flag up, every night take it down. And that was part of the duties. And escort the American Express from our post to a different post, which was about 15 miles away. Because our line, we were, all the units were, excuse me, were like positioned along the border,
Yeah.
you know, because they figured that if the Russians were going to come attack,
Come across them.
they're going. That's the area they're going to come. It's called, it was part of the Fulda Gap, and they thought that that's where they were going to come through, you know. So we've had some scary nights.
Yeah, while you were stationed there?
Yeah, we had some scary nights.
Do you want to elaborate on that? On one of those scary experiences?
Well, one night it was payday night, and never had the alert. And usually the Germans, the townsfolk would warn us and tell us that you guys are going on alert tonight. First thing you know, you hear 3rd or 12th, you're on alert, report to your station. And 2nd and 83rd report. We thought,
It was the real deal?
yeah, because every time something happened in Vietnam, they were thinking that it was a,
Something that
yeah, what do they call that? There's a word for it, an expression.
repercussions? I don't know.
No, diversion.
Yeah.
And you know, when you load up the guns and everything comes with you. I mean, everything, even the hot rounds. You know something's wrong. But 2 days later, they right back to the barracks.
And you were just back to the daily grind after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another alert would come up and you'd be back on.
Yeah. Well, most of the time we knew those were coming up.
Yeah.
You know. And then I was reassigned to the unit police. And one morning I was down at the north gate, and I saw this guy walking up, and I didn't recognize the uniform, and he had a star on his hat. And then he says, "I Czechoslovakian, I want," in broken English, "I want political asylum." I said, "Okay, I'm NATO, so,
Yeah.
you know." So I called up top, and I told him, I says, "I got a Czechoslovakian soldier here, and I just gave him political asylum." He said, "You did what?" I said, "I gave him political asylum." I said, "I'm allowed to." "Okay, hang on, we'll send somebody down." So they sent somebody down to relieve me, and I brought him up and brought in the battalion, and I reported it, and that was it. Sent him home.
Yeah. So you're post to the Czech border?
After I went back to my post, and then I never heard anything of what happened to him, or I just hope he fared well. You know, at least I gave him 15 minutes of freedom.
And so then after that, after you were stationed there, where did you go?
That's when I left there March 15th, 1967, as a early overseas release. Then I came home.
And that was when you were released from the army. Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Just National Defense Service Medal and Marksman Medal. But there's some medals that I can wear now. I can't wear them in my uniform, but I can wear. You know, like NATO Defense Service, NATO Medal, U.S. Army Service Medal, U.S. Army Reserve Service Medal, Cold War Service Medal.
So this is about segment about family life. How did you stay in touch with your family?
By mail.
And how was the communication? Was it?
Oh, it was pretty good. Mail was a couple of days.
Yeah.
Because everything was airmail.
Right.
You know.
What was the food like?
Food was good.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I worked in the med section.
Right. Right.
No, they fed us good.
Yeah.
The food was good. Even the sea rations
Mhm.
were pretty good.
Heard about those sea rations. Some horror
Well,
stories.
well, there were some of them that weren't good, but you knew which ones to pick out,
Yeah.
like the hot dogs and beans, and then the chipped beef. And I mean, it was really good.
Mhm. Did you have enough supplies? Were you well supplied?
Oh yeah, we were always well supplied.
Mhm.
Never ran out.
I imagine you felt a little bit of pressure or stress while you were there
Oh yeah, especially on guard duty.
when you had the red alert kind of thing.
Yeah, when we have guard duty,
Yeah.
you have to walk around. You have to protect the guns,
Mhm.
you know. And then they had other special details that protected the rounds, the nuclear warheads,
Mhm.
and
Because they were stationed along the border.
yeah.
How did you handle your stress?
Drank. That's all we could do.
Mhm.
We'd go downtown, you know. Like I said, we met a lot of nice German people. They were very, very friendly.
Mhm.
Treat them like, you know, like your brother and sister, and they'll treat you the same way.
Is there something special you did for good luck while you were out there?
That I did for good luck. Just not really. Just kept my head clear, you know.
How did people entertain themselves while they were off duty?
We had bands,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like Jerry Blizzard and Dave Allen, and they had bands. And
They came in towards the.
yeah, and then plus that we had the U.S. Soldiers showed up at the EM Club,
Mhm.
because we had an EM Club, Officers Club, and a NCO Club, which I couldn't go to, so.
So I guess then the next question would be, did you see any USO shows? Which it sounds like
Yeah,
you did.
we did.
How'd you like those?
I liked them. They were very, very nice, very professional.
Mhm.
Saw a lot of song and dance acts, magicians, you know, comedians,
Mhm.
and it was really, really great.
Did you go on leave? I mean, before you left.
Yeah, I took 6 days off
Uh-huh.
in
So just 6 days.
1966,
Uh-huh.
and I stayed at one of the guest houses because I got to be friends with Oma. Oma means grandma,
Mhm.
and I got to be friends with the family. And Oma says, "You got no place to go? Come stay here." And they fed me and everything,
That's nice.
so it was real nice.
Do you recall any particularly humorous events?
Humorous
Yeah,
event?
humorous.
Oh, a lot of stuff. One time we were, the night that they called the alert on payday,
Mhm.
I'm going down the hill, and I got my duffel bag over my thing and my rifle, and my rifle went between my legs, and I went tea kettling down the bottom of the bank.
Uh-huh. Do you have any others that you want to share?
Oh, not really. Don't forget, this was 40-something years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Were there some pranks you'd pull on other people?
No, that's one thing I won't do because I've seen too many people get hurt.
But you saw other people pulling?
Yeah.
What did you think of the officers and your fellow servicemen?
The officers, the officers were top grade.
Mm-hmm.
I had issues with one, but it was me, it wasn't him. Our non-coms were the top. We had one sergeant, Sergeant Childs, and there was some distension when I was in the commo section. And you know what he did? He got one of those, and everybody recorded what they felt about everybody in the unit. And after that, it brought everybody closer because we knew what I liked about you, what I didn't like about you, and vice versa. And the guy should have been a psychologist.
Did you keep a journal while you were there?
No,
But there wasn't anything against keeping journals?
no.
No. You could, though.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's stuff that you can't report.
Right.
Like there's stuff I still can't report today. Okay, on January 17th, 1967, my being part of the unit of police had to escort American Express. And I got a phone call while I was on desk that we needed to take the girl from our post to bring her to Gillenhausen, which is about 15 miles away from us. And I told the sergeant, the desk sergeant, Sergeant Willis, and then he said, well, we'll take my car. I says, no, Sergeant, we need to take a Jeep. Why? I says, because we need to take a Jeep. He says, we're going to take our car. I says, okay, you're the NCO. So we went, I got her and everything, put her in the car, going, and then we're going down the road, and we're following a tractor with a dump on it, and that dump has manure, and that's what they call a honey wagon in them days. And then he decided he was going to pass, and I told him no. He goes, why? I says, we're on black ice. No, we're not. I says, we're on black ice. I said, see the wheels? The spray? Well, he decided he was going to pass anyways. And I told the girl, get on the floor. I threw my rifle down on the floor. I grabbed the seat belt and the armrest. And I got into the duck position. And it's, like I said, we went into a spin, went into a ditch. The door went, I went with the door. I was totally unconscious. I regained consciousness. And my first thought was for the girl, to make sure the girl's okay. I went and got her. And he says, what about me? I says, I don't care about you. I says, I told you not to pass. You endangered our lives. And I got her up to the road, and just per chance, the laundry truck was coming. And so now we didn't have to walk. And I commandeered the laundry truck at rifle point. And I got us to Gelnhausen. I made a report to the MPs, went to the first aid station because my head was racking, was hurting real bad. And I got a ride back to post, and when I got to post, the post commander wanted to see me. And Sergeant Willis had told him that I had caused the accident and that I had took off with the girl and the money. And I said, sir, what am I doing here? And he called it. I said, call the girl. He called the girl. The girl verified the story. And end the story, because he got in a lot of trouble for what he did. He falsified a report and everything. And I did exactly what I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. So just say again where you were when your service ended.
I was stationed in Budigen, Germany, and then there was a bunch of us. There was Bowers, Blizzard, Brown, myself, and we all got out together. We all left. Felt like we left the post abandoned. You know, it was a Saturday morning, and we got to Rhine, Maine. We were supposed to fly out that day, and we didn't. We ended up staying overnight. Now we were used to sleeping in cots that are this thick, and now we're in the Air Force beds that are this thick. What a nice sleep.
Yeah.
Good night's sleep.
What was your homecoming like?
It was good because it was snowing like heck, and I had not told anybody that when I left New York, and I get to the train station in Meriden, and I got my bag like this, and the next thing I know, somebody grabs my bag. She says, I got this. It was my brother and my two buddies who had gotten out a couple months before I did.
Mm-hmm. They're waiting for you?
They were waiting for me, and I had not told anybody, because I was going to it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was going to take a bus, because the bus ran, I don't know if you know anything about Cheshire, the road, Route 10, it used to be Route 66, but that used to go right to Waterbury, right into Meriden, and right at the train station. So I catch a bus, and then I'd be about a quarter of a mile off the highway. So I was just going to grab a bus, and then they grabbed me. And it kind of surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they found out.
So where did you work, or did you work, or did you go back to school?
Well, I started working. I took about a week off. I started working. I went to work for the state, and that fell through because I ended up with a drinking problem, so.
And then, what did you do after that? Did you
I kept
work?
I kept getting jobs here and there.
Did you make any close friendships in the service? It sounded like you did.
What do you mean?
Close friendships in the service?
Oh yeah.
You did, yeah. A lot of close friendships.
Yep.
Guys that you still talk to today.
Yep.
So how did you combat your drinking problem?
Well, one of the things was October 26, 1976. I was working for the town of Southington, and I went into what they call a grand mal alcoholic convulsive seizure, and I fell in the pond. And if it wouldn't have been for a 14-year-old kid named Daniel Rebstead, who lived across the street, they used to come and visit me. And if it wouldn't have been for him, he ran across the street, got his father, and my shirt had an air bubble in it. And that's when they pulled me out. But I didn't quit until May 18th, 1980. I just saw this commercial and said, alcoholism is treatable, call this number. So I called the number. They referred me to Yale, UConn. I went to UConn for 3 weeks, and I haven't had anything to drink since then.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
So, how did your military experience influence your thinking about war or the military in general?
How does it think about it?
Yeah.
I think we do need a military. I do also think that we need to upgrade our military because the world is changing every second. As we know now, our secrets are being stolen from us. We had stuff that nobody knew about, and now China is developing, and their F-35. They have a plane that looks just like our F-35, the Joint Strike Fighter.
Yeah, the drones now people are copying.
Yeah. But I do think we do need a military.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
Oh yeah, I belong to the American Legion. I'm senior vice commander of the Franco-American War Vets. I belong to the Polish Legion of American Veterans. I'm a standing member of the Bristol Veterans Council.
And you're an active member in all of those?
Yes. Well, right now I'm taking it easy because of the cancer. You know, let's get that in
Out
line.
of the way, yeah.
Well, I wish we could get it out of the way, but
Did you attend any reunions?
no.
No. How
We
did your
we got two together, but I couldn't go because this last one, because of my cancer, and then last year. Well, no, it would have been last year, yeah. And then the year before I couldn't go because of finances.
did you how did your service and experiences affect your life?
I think it's me personally, it's affected me as made me a better person to show respect. Uh, and it gives you more motivation. Like once I quit my drinking, I kept my jobs. I kept them and I improved, kept getting better. And the last job that I had to quit. Well, I had to retire because of the cancer, but I was the top driver, and all my evaluations were outstanding. So, you know, and dealing with people, customer service and stuff like that, because you know how to deal, you know how to work with people.
Yeah.
And that in the military, kind of,
Teaches you that.
yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview?
No, I'm honored to be part of it.
I thank you for allowing us to come and interview you. It's a wonderful experience. I'd like to thank you for your service and also taking time to interview today.
Well, thank you very much, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you.